I serve up meat for the mature believer. So if you're a returning subscriber, enjoy this series, especially the one I'm doing on metals, Keys to the Kingdom. And if you're new, subscribe. Those are 250 videos that have a lot of meat and oil for your lamp for the last days. Shalom. Well, hello, welcome back to another episode of Prophecy for the Last Hour. I am going to continue on. Let me just say this. I have information overload. I have, you better be careful what you pray for, because I have been asking Abba, explain to me, show me what is going on in this whole world of metals and the different aspects of it, in the text, in the world, in science, what's going on. And I was not prepared. I'm not prepared to try to even process the magnitude of it. When it says that everyone will be deceived, even the very elect, if such a thing were so. The magnitude of this it's just incomprehensible. So part of me, I look like a deer, in the headlights. Because I'm just overwhelmed. But I'm going to do my best to try to impart something here and put it together. So, all right. We're in a war, and the enemy is slick as can be, and he, then knowing he's a liar, he's a murderer, he's all of these different negative, very un-Torah-like personifications. One of the main, all right, this is what I'm trying to say. Let me start again. It seems to me the best I can right now in the largest picture is break this thing down into a three-pronged attack that is so ironclad at this point. It is through, science today, this total repackaging to us of the world of Asiya, which biblically, Hebraically, and Kabbalah, Zoharically is called the world of Asiya, which is the world of physicality, which is biblically called the earth, all right? And remember, every word is polysemous. There's many levels of meaning. So you just have to kind of be able to move into different meanings at the same time, keep the connectedness. So we have science, which is trying to tell us that and explain to us this whole world they're quote unquote discovering, which there's nothing new under the sun. Our ancients totally had this understanding at a much higher and holy level. But they're repackaging to us the whole world of physicality, but they're leaving out one huge important aspect of this, is that there's a creator, right? There's we call intelligent designer at the top. There is a father, a progenitor. There is our Yahweh Elohim at the very top, who originated and orchestrates this and has a plan and a purpose. That's very conveniently left out in science. Okay, but fine, put that there. Then you have another pronged attack, which is coming at us, which is the world of, let me just get my notes here. How do I call it? The world of Eastern religion. So not truth. I mean, people still want truth. We're still beings that have been made and wired to want to, quote unquote, go home. Like pigeons, we have a honing that wants to be reconnected with our higher being, our creator father that's in the system. But Eastern religions are what are being promoted to us today as the highest form of enlightenment, or that this has a higher form of enlightenment to come back to, and that they are much more enlightened. They have a much more holistic, I mean, science, because it leaves out the supernatural, the metaphysical, a lot of people aren't happy with that. Those that want to go deeper, who know that there's more, lot of times will be drawn today into Eastern religions. All right. Then there's a third pronged attack, which is coming at us front and center, which is the whole world of magic, which is the whole world of witchcraft, which is the whole pagan understanding of, and ultimately its root is basically into the watcher angels of information of how to go an even higher level, all right, and really practice magic arts, all right. So these three prongs of this attack are totally sanctioned by the God of this world, so they always get the front and center. So science is always promoted as the biggest answer. We're so advanced today. Eastern religions, you know, their form of meditation, their understanding, and of prana and the, you know, QI, key, and all these things, okay. And then you have flat out Harry Potter and witchcraft, all right? And they all get front and center, they all get the earplay. Meanwhile, you have the true sons of Elohim who are in exile. You, Judah and Ephraim, we are in exile today, and we are not, our voice that comes from our Father, ours is not obviously going to become, we're in a war to get that out. Now, if you're at this channel for the first time, you're coming back, I don't want to say I have no more patience because I couldn't have patience, but I know this for a fact now that unless enough of returning Ephraimites and secular Jews begin to embrace and begin to learn and function in the deeper levels of understanding that has been kept in the house of Judah, the mystical writings, the Zohar, the Kabbalah, all this understanding, we're never going to get to the other side of this. It is the last frontier. It does need to be learned, mastered, and we need to be able to use it, because that's what it ultimately, as our final place of getting us enough oil in our lamp to get on the other side of Hasatan and this veil, this web, this covering, right, is the God of this world that he's putting over us. So if you still have that fear, if you're a part of the, and this is why now I realize it is so fought against, and most people are just, they're just ignorant. They just believe what their quote certain teachers say out there, and they never check it for themselves. So, but I praise Yahweh because I'm running into more and more people, especially contacting me through my channel, that people are getting. There is a group out there called the elect of Elohim for the last days who have no more fear. You know, fear will keep you functioning always at a lower level than your birthright inheritance. Always. Now, let me try to go into and flush this out a little bit. I had no idea that just trying to figure out what gold and silver and some metals meant was going to take me on. So it has taken me weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I think I've been at this for well over a month and a half trying to get out this. All right, but what now I can understand. Now listen, we have two kind of worldviews out there. You have sort of what's called the Eastern, the Oriental. You have that worldview, all right? And then you have the Western, okay, mindset. And that's not an accident. You gotta understand, is the God of this world, Satan always, he filters how knowledge comes to us. They're very adept, all right? So you've got this East-West dichotomy, duality going on. But it's very interesting because in the Western world today, we have like a little Western medicine, which is so different from Eastern medicine. You know, we have a Western secular mindset that is so Greek philosophically, intellectually, versus an Oriental mindset. But the bottom line is this. They're two sides of the same coin. They're like a spectrum. In Western, the mindset we have, we're focused on science. We're focused right now today in quote unquote the Enlightenment on just the physicalities, and there's nothing beyond it. So there's no metaphysical per se allowed in the secular Western mindset. And I'm excluding the the church. I'm excluding the church or Judah. All right, I mean, I'm just talking about a secular mindset. And what they do is they're totally studying. Their focus is on the organic, the subatomic levels of the creation that can be known, that are real, that are true. I mean, we live in a real creation. I mean, but it's how you spin the knowledge and information. All right, but elements, substances, the building blocks, we're down to this, the building, we're all about the building blocks of creation, the ultimate, the DNA, the sequence code, now we're at the subatomic level with quote unquote these quarks and electrons and neutrons, and we really see into, we're peering into the whole inner workings of life, and pretty soon we're going to get down to, being able to make life, or so they say. But so it's all about, so this is what I want to say is that the whole periodic table, the chemical table, periodic table of elements, nothing to understand, is quite seriously, as a religion, is being repackaged to us from the whole metaphysical understanding of our ancients, but they're just not telling you that, all right, per se. The flip side is the Eastern way of understanding things, which has always remained more metaphysical. They have not divorced themselves. So in the Western world, they really are saying, trying to get everyone to divorce themselves from any metaphysical worldviews or understandings. But no problem, go into Eastern understandings and you can begin to get, it's okay to go into metaphysical understandings. And Eastern, like Chinese, Buddhism, Hinduism, all of these have always kept a concept of the metaphysical. So the origination on the other side from, okay, so because I guess what I want to try to say is, when you understand, oh my gosh, this gets so Kabbalistic, I want to keep it simple, but when you do understand what is being said in the Tree of Life, when you do understand the seven Zeranpin, the seven lower separate, and that is a world of creation, that has been known since Enoch, since Adam. I mean, because this has always been known knowledge. I mean, the Eastern mindsets have always retained the more spiritual. So you have let me put it this way, for body, soul, and spirit. Westerners, second, we just want to figure out the body. We're not really interested there. Psychologically, even with the soul, it's all just a repackaging of some of the metaphysical concepts, but they still don't want you to make a connection that is outside of the world of seeing that, but it is. But they don't want you to know that. So I hope I'm saying. But in the Oriental understanding, you have this, and that it is all about the emanations, the flows, the fluxes, the energies, the dynamic states of change that are going on. And that if you start at the top with the spiritual world, into the, what would be emotional, the astral world, and then you would come down into the physical, and that there is a complete correspondence between the three. The Orientals never lost that concept, that there is a correspondence always. In the Western mindset, and even in the church, this is what is so sad, we have totally thrown the baby out with the bathwater. So, a lot of people today even are embarrassed to be talking about angels. Like, oh my gosh, what an archaic, what a superstitious way of talking about things, or demons. They're very uncomfortable with it because they don't know Keys to the Kingdom, the code, what it's talking about. And it really is talking about the same thing as in the Eastern religions, but because we have been shut out, literally, this is like shut out from the knowledge that is in these words, their codes, what they're referencing, we're not able to put it together. So it's not an accident. So when I say there's no accident that there is this, because even if you go into Eastern religions, you're not going to find Yahweh Elohim there. So it's okay. Go get all your get your medical physical fix in there, so to speak. Practice all cut is the new age is being repackaged to us. Work, and then eventually you will end up into magical practices, which again is being totally repackaged to us. And you have two, some schools, people think, well, it's all, like you mean Harry Potter, and it's all fiction. It's all just made up. This isn't anything real. And then to those in the know, it's very real. And there's those who need to have and exhibit power. It's being given back. All right. But again, it is power from the dark side. All right. It will not bring you into life or life everlasting. All right. So let me try to restate all that quick and flush some of this out. So if we were to take the science, all right, and I've been doing this teaching. Okay, so I've found that because it helps to have the holistic view all together, but I know a lot of people do not have a true separative understanding yet, which is something, I want to get there. But when I did this thing on parts, I hope you understand that many words have many levels of meaning, because when you're talking about different states, if you're in the spiritual world, you're going to use kind of the way the word is used is going to express a different reality. This is all, and versus in the astral world versus in the body. All right. But many of these people are occultists. Now, many of our scientists in the last have always been seriously occultists. Now, let me say this because this is part of having no fear and growing up and be able to handle the meaning of the word. The word in itself is not bad. The word occult is not a bad word. It is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And the word initiate. This concept of understanding on the deeper level, okay, what is going on. And if you want to be a prophet, if you want to be really useful to Elohim at all at this point, you need to get here so that you can kind of explode. You can just basically plow through the lies and the deceptions and bring light. But many of these people were occultists. Doesn't mean, okay, so that which or elitist, which equates to the word remez in the different levels of biblical understanding. So what I want to say is people traditionally get to this level if they, you got to work, you got to study. I mean, there's a lot of information. That's why I said I'm not up to this. I'm not the sharpest pencil in the deck. I don't think the highest spirit, or what do you call it, IQ in the world. All right, but I'm just doing the best I can. But the thing is, it's very intense. It's very dense information, and so you need a good education. This gets into the whole concept of how the ancients were instructed in knowledge that would give them a good foundation, be it astronomy, be it language, and logic and rhetoric and how and symbols and how information is communicated, arts, sciences. They really understood a more classical education, how you need a good foundation. Fortunately, we're not there. But anyways, to get to my point, these elitists have always had a higher level of understanding and how information is being transferred and for which group. Information is being transferred for the masses is at a whole different level than the way these elitists communicate, those quote unquote in the know. All right. And and this is what we have to do as grow up, because you don't think that Moshe or Aaron or Isaiah or Yahshua had insane amounts of higher understanding of the way things were working than like we do, just a little sheep down here? This is what I mean about critical thinking. We're running with the big boys. Let's say if you're with me at this point, you're going to start getting with the big boys. And if you're going to play with the big boys or run with the big boys, so to speak, you better be up to speed. Otherwise, you get crushed. All right. And this, all right. So enough intro. But I will have to say this, because we have to look everything after its fruit. Yahshua said, you'll know a tree. And a tree is just a person, and it's one of its, by their fruit. And so if you need to examine the knowledge stream that's coming from someone to find out if it's truly coming from a holy root, you have to pair up the knowledge stream with the actions. This is a whole biblical principle. Because to the pure, all things are pure, meaning even their actions will be pure.